welcome to another episode of Startup Hustle Middle East. Today I'm here with Ankit. He is Associate Director at MEVP. Am I right?
That's correct.
All right, cool. So MEVP is a venture capitalist in Dubai, and they invest in the Middle East. We were just having a conversation earlier. You were saying you invest more in like Series B rounds now.
That's correct.
So most of our listeners are entrepreneurs. So what advice would you have, and what do you look for when you're investing in Series B level startups?
I think the evolution of startups from the seed stage to the Series B stage is mostly around having finally figured out the product market fit and scaling really, really fast. I think at Series B stage, we're looking at startups who are clocking over $1 million in revenue, for example, if it's a software, SaaS, or a service company. And typically if it's a consumer internet company, we're looking at possibly a GMV of $5 million and above. If this is truly a B2C startup, which is looking at a lot of user base and let's say around 100,000 users, that's when these startups they start to become attractive for us.
Okay, so in terms of revenue, you're saying around $5 million net revenue.
Not net revenue, so
gross revenue.
$5 million of gross revenue for startups or internet companies, who do a lot of e-commerce and sell a lot of basically online commerce.
Okay, cool. So you're focused only on Middle East startups?
Yes, we have the mandate for the fund is to invest in companies that are based out of Middle East. Now these companies can possibly be selling in Europe, possibly selling in the United States, and possibly shipping a lot of their services to India or China. But the focus is to find local homegrown startups and invest in them.
Okay. So I'm guessing you're talking about like SaaS-based companies that might be selling their services internationally, but based here.
Not just SaaS, actually, we have a couple of online commerce companies in the portfolio who ship a lot to Europe as well as to the American markets. So we don't want borders to be a limiting factor for the companies we invest in. We'd want them to truly become a global major, having proved the model locally.
So usually when you invest in companies, do you guys get involved in the business processes or providing advice or operational support, things like that?
Yeah, we're very active in terms of the thought process. We like to be matched toe to toe with the founders in terms of what he's thinking and support him. And frankly, having done this for a long time, we feel we have enough in the gray matter to share with them, to make them more powerful, to make them more aware, and especially help them with networking, open doors for them, basically be their best cheerleaders around. Right.
So usually, what is the amount of equity that you might take for a Series B investment?
That's a slightly open-ended question. My guess will be the range will be from 10 or 15% going up to 30%.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, right. That'll be the broad scale.
Okay. So we were talking before, and you were saying that you have previous experience being a VC in India.
Yeah.
And now you've been a VC
now in Dubai. Yeah.
In Dubai for the last 3 to 4 years, right?
No, actually a little less than 3 years.
Okay. How do you find it different, India versus Middle East in terms of investments and ticket sizes?
Yeah, I think India, being just by the virtue of it being a much larger market with such a massive middle class and aspirational sort of entrepreneurial base, saw its heydays, I think, at least 4 to 5 years sooner than the Middle East did.
Yeah.
But I think the Middle East is now starting to see what India was like in 2010, 11, 12.
Okay.
And that's why we see ticket sizes like $100 million or upwards in some of the startups that were founded way back in 2010, for example. And I think we'll see more of those checks happening. I think we'll see more of those startups breaking away and trying to raise $50 million and upwards.
Right.
And these, I think, frankly, are the most exciting times in the Middle East startup scene.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that as well. Like we think there's going to be an inflection point very soon where we'll start seeing. So India, for listeners who don't know, India had a massive surge in investment and growth.
It did.
2010, 2011. And a lot of unicorns were born at that time. Of course, India is
just yesterday there was an announcement around a company called Zelingo, which raised $226 million and is now valued at $970 million.
Okay.
And this founder used to be an analyst in the Bangalore office of Sequoia.
Okay.
And this is a fashion startup which is really trying to change the way fashion is sold.
Yeah.
So I think, it's a virtuous cycle that has now been set in motion in India. And as part of the ecosystem here, we're trying to do the same for Middle Eastern startups.
Yeah. So being VCs, have you guys experienced any big exits yet where you've had?
Yeah, we are constantly working towards it. We had a couple of exits in the last year. We'll have another couple of announcements in this year.
Okay.
And we're constantly working towards those exits. Look, that is the end goal. But we cannot shy away from the work that goes before those exits. And I think the real energy that we are spending right now is trying to make companies really employers of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if we can take some of these companies in our portfolio there, then they become attractive for acquisitions by themselves.
Absolutely. I think being naturally profitable companies or scaling at a healthy pace will eventually lead to exits or profitability, right?
Precisely. I could not agree with you more.
From your experience in this market now, how long has it been generally where companies exit? Like how long from birth till exit?
Ooh, I wish I had solid data around that. I'll have to bounce that one, man. I have to dodge that bullet. Totally.
All right, okay, fine, no worries. So any advice for new founders? I know you guys mostly deal with more senior founders who've already had a couple of years of experience and built their business to a certain point, but new founders, budding founders.
Sure. My advice to budding founders is stop kicking the can and start kicking some ass. And we're here to back you all the way, and we're here to tell you things that we know. We're here to learn from you. We're here to make you bigger, better, wiser, smarter. And yeah, we're in business. Our doors are open. Just walk in. Tell us about the amazing things you're doing. Okay. And yalla, let's do it.
That's amazing, man. So what do you think of Step? Is this your first time at Step, or have you been here before?
No, this is actually my third time in Step.
Okay, cool. And what do you think of Step like?
It's really cool. It's really cool. It's one of the things that's much needed, I think. It's a great congregation of like-minded people, of just saying hi to people whom you met a couple of months ago and figuring out what they're now up to.
Right.
I think it's a great place to hang out for a couple of days, surely. Awesome. Away from the concrete walls of the office.
Do you guys actually see any deal flow happening at Step?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Absolutely. We have, every time we've been here, we've taken back home some pipeline.
Okay.
And some very attractive pipeline. So, yeah, absolutely. This is a great place to find interesting guys.
What about seed level funding? Do you guys ever partake in seed level or Series A?
I think my candid answer to that question is that we'll do less of that than what we've done earlier, but we do have a selective pocket for seed stage startups, because we still want to be part of the community as such. We still want to be mingling with young founders. So we do have a selective pocket. It's going to be smaller checks, not as many checks, but we do have a pocket for seed appetite as well.
Awesome. So if people want to send you their pitch deck, what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you guys?
So of course they could apply through our website or email us at info@mevp.com. Or just find us in our offices. Just ring the bell and walk in. We love doing that.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Totally. There's nothing more that makes my day than just hearing that doorbell ring and finding this amazing entrepreneur at the door.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for being on the
podcast.
Siddharth.
Good luck with everything.
All right, cheers, man.
Cheers, thanks.